Can you guys hear anything in the background from me?
I can't. Nope.
No.
Nothing from you.
Cool. Yeah, because I got the AC running.
I may have to mute myself during the show, so just as a heads up, Dan, when you edit it, just keep an eye out on my end.
I got you,
dude.
boo.
If you need to fart, just let it rip.
I did that earlier and had I brought up the matches because it was my office is not that big.
There's no escape for it.
I have to keep the door closed because of volume issues. Jenny is on me about that, and I just issues, dude.
I find it really interesting that you bring up the notion that you have to keep the noise down in relation to farting. Like, are you just ripping thunderous ones?
So, I mean, this is a conversation that could go on for ages if we wanted it to. But I know we're on time constraint. So, hello, Aura. Love you, baby.
Excellent dodge. Yeah, is Aura here?
Yeah.
Right on, brother.
Yeah,
Good to see you. There's a man whose background farts I miss. Just Layla in the background letting it rip.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I thought you had loud neighbors. I thought that was like a problem you had, so noise shouldn't be...
To the point where I was streaming one day, and I heard like a... and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I take my headphones off, and I hear the bass through the wall.
Oh, boy. Do you get the reverberations? It's just vibrating through?
It's just that light little pulse that just it's the telltale heart, man. It's Edgar
Just
Allan
those
Poe
bass
and his
hits.
mother. Yeah. Except for instead of a beating heart, it is I believe it was The Weekend.
Same thing. It's mostly the same thing. The end of that tale, the guy goes and pulls out, what was it, the floorboard that the heart was in? Yeah, and it's just The Weekend.
And it goes...
It's like Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. It's here! Under the floorboards!
There we go. We solved the mystery. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 278 of the Planet Destiny podcast, your guide for everything going on in the world of Destiny 2. And man, there is a lot of stuff going on in the world of Destiny 2. This week, we had the official release of Destiny 2 Season 14, Season of the Splicer. Had some good things, had some...
Things?
I was going to say, you could just say it.
I mean, we're going to say it. You best believe we about to say it, because there's some stuff we got to talk about from the release this week, and we will be getting into all of that. Of course, our usual roundtable of hosts is here this week. We actually got three of the main hosts. This is what, 2 weeks in a row that we've had the three of us here.
Feels weird.
It's a rare occasion when I come back now.
I'm proud of you guys.
Can you say Georgie at the end of every sentence, Nem?
You kind of have to.
I will do my best. Georgie.
Okay. Thank you.
For the audio listeners, we have a very special avatar up for Mr. Nim Plays this week.
So Tuesday, when we couldn't get in to play the game,
we could not.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had to do something.
Couldn't get in to play the game, so we had to do something else. We had ourselves a little bit of a fashion show, of which it was the worst looking Guardian. I won. Those Titan legs looked awful, but Nim came in clutch. What can only be described as the Pennywise Warlock. Nim, is this truly what was inspired you on that day, or?
No, that was total accident.
Gotcha.
That's the best type of awful attire. The one you accidentally create.
The worst part, too, is Transmog doesn't have like a randomized button, so you did that on purpose.
It was
I wish
easy.
I had a
All I did.
randomized button now.
Oh my goodness. Just to
We
go
want
to
a
the
favorites
All I
list.
did
We
was
want a
use the
randomized
season of the
button. What else do we
chosen
want?
armor.
I want a lock. I want a lock on it.
Oh, so you don't have a choice. If you hit randomize, if you randomize this Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion character creator, you're sticking with what it gives you.
No, I like the randomize option. I also want a lock option. That way, when I
Mhm.
select all the things, even if I change the gear, it doesn't change the look. I just want it to lock.
So you're stuck.
Yes.
I dig that. I dig. They maybe that's something that they'll add in eventually whenever they decide to implement loadouts.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be something we get in there. But anyways, joining us tonight, we have a very special guest host this time around, the one, the only SentinelGray. Welcome to the
Hi.
show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's nice
Yeah.
being here.
Oh, it's great to have you here, and it's a good week to have you here because we've got a whole new patch worth of content to talk about, and cannot wait to dive on into that. But for those in our audience who may not be quite acquainted with who you are, why don't we take a moment to let you take the floor and explain who you are and what it is you do?
Oh boy, that's a mistake.
It
So yeah, my name is Sentinel Gray. Most people just call me Gray, and I do a lot of guides, whether it be for new or returning players or character builds or what have you. Like most of the time, I try and find new players who have just started playing and ask them what has not been explained to you, so I can make a video about it, so that hopefully not only help you but other people down the road. So that's what I do.
Right, and that's a service that, especially when like the new light experience began, that's a service that was in dire need because Lord knows new light players were getting dumped into a game with a ton of different campaigns, a ton of different content, and had no idea what to do or how to do any of it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So how did you get started on all that? What inspired you to start making guides like that?
Well, the number one thing is I love teaching people,
Yeah.
but specifically I love teaching people about video games. Like if anybody has a question about a certain video game that I know a lot about, whether it be like Destiny, Kingdom Hearts, Halo, something like that, I love being there to have somebody, if somebody has questions, I love being that person to be like, yes, this, and this is how this was worked into this. And
Right.
that kind of rolls into gameplay too, to where people are like, okay, so how do I do this Grandmaster? Well, here's what you're going to need. So I love helping people in that regard and like teaching people in general.
Right, and like I said, that's a service that is that's always in high demand, and it's definitely needed right now when we've got a whole new season's worth of content diving on in. I'm assuming everybody here has had time to play Season of the Splicers.
Eventually.
Eventually.
After Pennywise.
What could you possibly mean by that? This was a flawless launch, Dan. What are you talking about?
Okay. So that friends list glitch bug was the bane of my existence for 2 days.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was like I caught myself. I had Thursday off because I got my second shot, and took that for myself. But that Thursday, I spent the morning laying in bed with a headache, just going through my PlayStation friends list and being like, I don't recognize this name.
Oh
This
no.
person hasn't been on in 6 months. Like
The Purge.
yeah, and so to get everybody down to below 40 concurrent playing friends so I could at least play a little bit on PlayStation.
So is that what it was? It was the for those who don't know, if you didn't play season or try to play Season of the Splicer on release date, don't worry, you didn't miss anything because nobody else could play it either. You could generally get in and get the first mission done, and then it was just honeydew and chicken errors everywhere.
Mhm.
Couldn't load into any activities, and apparently, so it was tied to friend lists.
So the honeydew errors subsided, and then
Yeah.
you couldn't log, like I kept trying to log back in and couldn't get, like I'd get in queue, I'd get all the way down I'd get all the way down to about 2000, and then it would like boot me and
Right.
every time. And so
Yeah.
that affected a lot of creators, I think. Mainly like my hypothesis is that like we tend to have a lot of people who are friends who are on all at the same time, and
Right.
yeah, but apparently, so Lulu, former guest Lulu, had the same issue, and she deleted her entire Steam friends list
Ooh.
and was able to get in
Oh.
after that. So something went jank in there, but
And so you went on a purge of your friends list.
I didn't. So I did that accidentally about 6 months ago on Steam, and slowly gaining more friends back.
Right.
You can add me on Steam if you want to, but I wasn't about to do that on purpose this time around. PlayStation, I had a ton of people left over from back when I did Sherpas on another site, and yeah, it's time to let some people go.
Me,
Damn.
I just waited till they got it figured out. I took
Yeah.
the L, figured, okay, this isn't going to be playable until like tomorrow at the earliest, and then just came back later.
Probably the better use of your time.
A little bit easier. So let's go ahead and dive on into the season of Splicers as it is then. 'Cause of course, we've all had an opportunity to play through a lot of that content now. I'd assume that everybody's had a chance to experience the new game mode Override. Probably had a chance to dive on into the the new transmog system, as it were. So we'll do a roundtable starting with you, Gray. What do you like about season 14 thus far? What do you dislike?
I love. There's a lot that I like, but there's in the stuff that I like, there's little mini things that I don't. So, like in general, I love that we actually have transmog now. Just
Yeah.
the ability to have it, just the ability to look at the different things that people can make. I mean, hell, I saw like the whole cast of Transformers on
Yeah.
Twitter the one day. I was like, that's cool. I love how many weapons we have, and the vast majority of them seem to be really good, especially the new
Oh,
splicer
yeah.
weapons.
Absolutely.
And actually the gameplay loop and everything that's going on for this season, I don't mind and I enjoy it. To me, it's a loop, like a combination between of what last season was, to where it was for the most part time gated,
Right.
and what it used to be, which is you can blow through it in 2 days. Because from what I've seen, you can blow through it in 2 days if you really want to grind it out. But if you want to wait a little bit, you can. So I like it. Like there's a lot that I love in this.
Yeah, I'd agree with a lot of that. I think a lot of the new weapons are fantastic. There's plenty of things to grind for right now, including new stuff. We've got old favorites returning. I finally got a decent roll of the old future War Cult submachine gun, the stochastic variable,
Oof.
which was an old favorite of mine from year one. Super happy to see that back. You're right, a lot of the new splicer weapons are really cool. They have a lot of cool little touches on them. Like when you swap over to them, there's a little sound effect that plays as they're like kind of spinning up. There's cool
Yep.
stuff there. And I would agree for the most part in the gameplay rotation of Override. Override I look at as a really interesting sort of mix between basically Contact from Season of Arrivals and
Yeah.
like the final boss mechanics from the Sundial.
Mhm.
It's basically a mixture of those two game modes. And overall I like that rotation that we've got in place right now as well. I think it's pretty fun.
Mhm.
How about you, Dan?
I really enjoy Override.
Yeah.
I've been spending a lot of time in it. I wanted to learn what kind of made it tick, especially when it
Okay.
came to like the data spikes and everything like that.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun to just like sit there and play. I was talking with Aura last night, and it was he described it as a turn your brain off and just go kind of
Yeah.
activity. Although there is a little bit of depth to it just with that Vex gate right there. For those of you who don't know at home, there is a Vex gate that turns on once every phase of the hacking, that you can go in, you kill a champion, and you get a data spike
Yes.
that fills in a large percentage of your completion bar. And it was just it feels like it has not a ton of depth, but just like a little bit more, just because of some mechanic
Right.
like that. So
It's kind of fascinating to me the number of override runs that I've done where most people just ignore that portal.
oh yeah, I don't
Like, wait,
know if
go grab
people
this
know about
bike.
it. Like
yeah,
I've been waiting at the thing, like for to go in, because I figure that not everybody will know that mechanic yet, and people are
Yeah.
shooting at me like, "Hey, dummy! Like fill in the thing." It's like, well, I'm gonna go in here, and I just disappear, and they follow behind me, and then
Right.
they see all the stuff around.
whoa,
Yeah,
there's a thing in here.
yeah,
Yeah, there's the
And then you
portal.
have teams. Then you have teams that everybody goes in there, and it's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
why are we all here?
So what about you, Nim?
Sorry, what was the question?
No, you know what? I'm gonna make you guess what the question was.
It was
Yes.
something about the season, right?
It's something about the season.
Love you, Nim.
See, what happened was
What had happened? Lay it on me. What had happened, man?
I was too focused
Ah,
and I just forgot. It just left.
you were too focused and you reached Zen. Just,
Yes.
there we go. Oh well, what are your?
Yes.
Well, don't worry. We'll catch you up. What are your thoughts on the season thus far? What do you like?
Oh,
What do you dislike?
It's fun. So, I think that the way that the season itself starts, where it's like you boot up the game and immediately drops you into
Yeah.
the action. I thought that was great. There's no, hey, go to the tower, pick this up, or hey, go to this planet and talk to this person. It's just boom, there. You're in it. The seasonal activity, override, super fun. It takes less time than Battlegrounds,
Yeah.
which is a plus considering, if you want to keep going in there and getting those caches with the key codes. It's great. I enjoy it a lot more than the overall loop. I enjoy it more than I do, or than what I did with Battlegrounds. I can definitely see myself playing a little bit more. The gear's great. The weapons are excellent. I dig it so far. I'm trying not to overplay it because I still have like armor to get on my Titan and stuff, and I could technically do that right now. But I'm just gonna wait until like reset hits and I can do override on the moon. Just kind of change up the environment a little bit. But I'm digging it so far. I think that the team has done a really good job with it so far, and it's only week 1, so we
Yeah.
still have more to see. Of course,
That's-
we still have Expunge down the line, so I like it. I've been having a good time with it.
That's what's kind of tough with all of these seasons, and whatever the new seasonal activity is. It seems like the activity is really refreshing on the first week, and then 6 weeks in, you're either still doing it a little bit, just like for whatever reason, or you're completely bounced off. And
Yeah.
with I feel like this is probably the best they've done with a seasonal activity. I think we'll definitely need to see where we're sitting with it 6 weeks on.
Then that's why I'm trying not to go hard on it, because I don't want to like burn myself out, because once you do it a couple of times, then you land on that rotation of, especially if you want to do your seasonal challenges. So I don't want to burn out on it super early, which is why I'm like, you know what, I can get the Titan gear later.
Yeah.
I'm in
Right.
no rush.
And there's going to be different locales that pop up for override in the coming weeks too. So they're going to keep that fresh over the next couple of months with new locales. I'm assuming there's going to be different bosses and different objectives that are going to be tied to that. But I got to say, the entire circular system they added in this season is, you're right, very reminiscent of previous seasons like Battlegrounds with the Hammer of Proving and the helm and all that kind of stuff, where you come in, you run override, you get you get your decrypted data and whatnot, you use that to upgrade your Sentinel servitor, And then that unlocks more stuff as you move forward. One of the things that I really appreciate this season is that they didn't follow the same format they did last season in time gating the upgrades that you could earn.
Yeah.
That really rubbed me the wrong way last season, because it essentially told me I've got this activity that I'm going to have to play in order to progress in this system. But you don't want me to play it too much, because you're not going to let me upgrade it as much as I want to. And this time around, that sort of pinnacle isn't in the way. You can just go through, you can play it as much as you want, you can just farm up ether. Ether gets you the key codes that you need to get the decrypted data at the end of Override, and you can just do it until you fully max it out and get all the benefits on week 1. I like that.
And that feels super painless. Like, because
Yeah,
you're
it doesn't
gathering
feel bad.
Yeah.
you're gathering ether from everywhere, not just
Everywhere.
from the seasonal activity, which is where I think Battlegrounds like kind of went sideways, right?
Yeah,
Because you could only get the thing within the battleground,
man.
and
And then there's the hammer charges, and you had to get the other stuff, and then it was
And it cost a ton of hammer charges just to try and get the weapon that you want out of a chance of 2 different ones.
right.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
garbo.
So like they did a lot right, I feel like, with this system. Speaking of getting stuff in the background, so the transmog system, I'm not bothered by it as
Really?
much as, well, I didn't think I would be bothered by it, because I didn't want to look like, I didn't need everything all the time anyways.
Yeah.
But I think that is only made better because they gave you 10 free, like right out
Right
the
out
gate.
the gate.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so-
This season you got some right off the bat.
Yeah. So like you got that was free. Go do with that as you will. The accumulation of the synthweave strand in the background, where it's not even like a RNG drop, it's a time gated drop, so that like each piece is
Yeah.
like 5 hours of work
Yeah.
in order to
Yeah.
purchase one, is interesting. And why you would need to cap something like that, I don't know.
Money, 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 money.
Mhm.
Yep. That's true. The thing about
know-
that is, though, like I get it, and I understand why people were upset.
Yeah.
But at the same time, granted, I may not be like everybody else. I had maybe 1, 2 at max armor sets that I knew I wanted for like
Yep.
each class, and that was it.
Yeah.
Everything else was like, maybe, or maybe, but like being able to have access to everything, or not being able to have access to everything, doesn't bother me, because I know I won't be using 80 to 90% of it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, and that's something we talked about on our last week's episode. We talked about realistically, because this is when Bungie first, announced what the system for transmog was going to be, and
Right.
we discussed, really, are we going to be transmogging every single armor set? No, most of us are going to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most looks per character. So it's this limiting things to a certain number of armor sets a season really probably isn't going to affect us too much. What I will say is that Bungie gave us in-depth information about the limitations on the transmog system a few TWABs ago. I will say it's rather telling that they didn't tell us about the time gate.
Yeah.
They didn't mention it at all.
Yeah.
And for those who haven't played and don't know, the time gate we're talking about is there is legitimately a timing feature in the game that prevents you from getting one of the currencies that you farm up with bounties and whatnot, from accumulating those too quickly. You can only get like one set of
One
drops
every
for
2
every
minutes.
2 minutes, which is
Yeah. And then
It
and then
w-
on top of that, you have to do some like menial activity for the most part. Like those are fairly easy to do. It's just the time, like I understand why you'd want to time gate it. You don't want everything
Yeah.
to get the new right out the start, right?
right.
It does like I now understand a lot of people's issue right out the gate when they were like, but like you can buy the universal one for money.
Yeah. No limit on that.
No limit on that
Yeah.
if you want to bypass the 5 hours for like one piece.
Yeah.
That is a bit unfair. And to
Tastes
the
a
point,
little sour.
yeah, to the point of like, you get this season's armor from the activity. Good change. That
Yeah,
is a
I like
wonderful
that.
change. Why then are there not cosmetic pieces in the season pass for specifically where those armor pieces would go?
I think all
Money,
we
money,
get
money,
is
money.
the ornaments for the set is still
Yeah.
at the very end. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Towards the very
That's
end.
it.
Yeah, I think if they're going to be moving forward with this sort of transmog system, they should add in some of those transmog currencies into the season pass, so that if you're a season pass owner, you already paid your $10 or whatever it is per season, you should get at least a bit of that
Yeah.
beforehand.
And it should be universal. It should not be like
Yeah.
It
a
should be
class
universal.
specific.
Absolutely agree. It's I described it earlier in the week as being a weird issue that soured an otherwise pretty good launch of content. It's I think it's unfortunate. Again, like I said before, I think it's telling that Bungie didn't tell us about that time gate in the TWAB where they described this system. I think they absolutely made that decision on purpose. I don't think that was a smart decision. I
Right.
can understand why they have a time gate like this in the system, but it doesn't make it feel any better. It doesn't sour my mood on the way this affects the transmog system any less. I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna get enough to transmog my 2 or 3 armor sets that I'll the most I'll ever use until Bungie adds in something really neat like
Mhm.
maybe Vault of Glass ornaments or whatnot. But I don't think that situation was handled quite as well as it could have been.
Well,
I think
Good.
go down.
I was just going to say to BG Rising's point in chat, like you and I are not going to be affected by this as much as somebody who only has like 5 hours a week to play.
Yeah, that's bad, man. That time gate's gonna kill the people who don't have as much time to delve into this.
Yeah.
What is it, 5 hours to get
5 hours for one piece.
for one
Yeah.
piece, 150 hours to get everything for the season
And that's
That's-
on one character too.
on one
It's
character.
not, yeah.
Mm.
See,
That's
the
a
only
little
thing that I
much.
can I don't see this as defending, but like the only thing I could see is if they even did come out and say like, hey, well, you're going to be on a, like, you are going to have, you can get one every 2 minutes, and that's how it is. If they did come out and say that, it wouldn't have been any better.
No.
Like, people still, like, I think they kind of weighed their options of like, what'll get people pissed off less, and that's where they landed.
Yeah.
In the past 2 weeks, I think they have trended twice on Twitter. Is that correct? And the community is quite vocal right now, and is especially taking a look at Bungie through a magnifying glass when it comes to any misstep in this type of direction. And I can't imagine what it's like to be a community manager there, but I don't think you can say we're listening anymore in response to anything. I'm not trying to like take a shot. I'm just saying like it's
After 6 or 7 years, that wears a little thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. I would. But while I think they've made missteps with transmog, I don't think it hasn't destroyed the season. There's still a lot to really like about this.
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of fun diving back in and spending my time in there. I was having a lot of fun trying to grind out my artifacts so that I could make use of a very specific mod before it got disabled. I did not succeed. Nim, I don't know if you're still there. How do you do you anything you'd like to say to that? I'm gonna take that silence as a no.
He's asleep.
I might be asleep. He might be sleeping on that.
If I get the recording of this and he's snoring, that is going on the internet.
You know, I had to I had to step away. Sorry. What was the question?
I was just talking about how I was enjoying grinding through this season. There was even a specific mod I was really looking forward to getting to try out. That
Oh God,
hmm.
yeah.
bodied. Would you like to
Yeah.
explain our pain?
Yeah. So, yesterday evening, TBL sends me the Astrocross's video about the energy mod, energy accelerant, and we're like, oh my god, all these weapons, like sounds like it's gonna be like super cool to use. So I was like, all right, fuck it, you convinced me. Let's go grind. So we both hop onto the game, go to the tower, pick up every bounty that we possibly can, and we start with the hardest thing, just nightfalls. We're like, all right, let's go run some nightfalls. 2 nightfalls in, the mod was disabled.
Mod is disabled. And it was worse for you because you were like a level or 2 away from unlocking your last artifact mod slot.
Yeah.
So you were me. There was no hope I was gonna get it. I was like, I think yesterday I was like 6 or so levels behind you. So there was no way I was gonna blow through all of that and get it. But you had a chance. You had a chance. And for those who don't know, the Energy Accelerant mod is an artifact mod in the last tree. It's one of the last mods you unlock. It's supposed to give bonus damage to explosive abilities like Chain Reaction and Dragonfly and Firefly. But somebody at Bungie forgot to send that, I guess, over to the QA testers because it didn't just give those abilities bonus damage. It doubled the damage of scores of weapon abilities all across the game, including a myriad of exotics. We're talking Graviton Lance, Deathbringer, Sunshot, Symmetry, Telesto in particular. Absolutely busted with this. It doubled the damage of every bolt that Telesto fired. And so
they set it out like, it's fine. Just ship it.
It's good. We're good. Did you test this? Yeah, I shot one shot. I fired
Todd
one
Howard in the
shot with
background. It just works.
That's their QA tester. Like, hey, Todd, is Energy Accelerant ready? It just works.
Fair enough.
They open the door.
Fair enough. Ship it.
They open the door on Telesto and they're like, "Are you gonna behave this time? Are you gonna behave? You gonna behave? Maybe. Maybe.
Just gonna have to push that update button and we'll find out." See, Bungie had been lured. They've been lulled into a sense of false safety because Telesto hasn't caused a problem for a long time. He was just biding his time, waiting until the moment to strike came up. And that was it. Energy Accelerant, doubling Telesto's damage on every bolt. And like I said, that wasn't the only thing. Like Symmetry, if you took that into PvP, because Symmetry, of course, is the exotic scout rifle from a couple seasons ago that has the dueling fire modes where like you can charge it up or you can just auto fire it and it'll track people. It was dealing the auto tracking shot, which is just the rapid fire shot, was dealing 100 damage per hit in PvP, like non-precision. So you were just two-shotting everyone in PvP. Telesto was wiping entire rooms of people because the bolts were dealing 78 damage a detonation. This mod was wild.
Did it also increase the blast radius of the detonation?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yes. Whatever coding went into there, because it's supposed to only work on Genesis, or not Genesis, but Chain Reaction, Dragonfly, and Firefly, which are those big explosive perks. It's supposed to increase the size of those detonations and give them more power. It just said, okay, I'm going to apply this to everything. it just select all applied. Yeah, select all, apply. And so if any of you guys missed out on that, Aztecross was live streaming at the time that this was found out. So he just started testing things live on stream, made a video about it of him just going through different exotics and watching what this thing did to it. It was, for about 3 hours, this mod was incredible. And then it got disabled.
For about 3 hours, we had magic.
For 3 hours. 3 magical hours. And then it got bodied. Bang!
And then it was taken away from us.
Could you imagine if this hadn't been found until after VOG went live?
Oh my god.
you have to know that they're being extra vigilant about everything because VOG is coming up. They don't want
Yeah.
any, like, somebody in chat this week had asked, like, do you think that they'd like disable the raid race? I was like, there's no bet. Like, there's no way they would ever do that. They're gonna get rid of everything in their path to make sure
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
They will disable your entire character before they do that.
Your
Well,
entire
think-
grenade.
Think about the warlock, the stasis warlock. Whenever Deepstone Crypt came out,
Yeah.
I thought for sure they'd disable Shadebinder just out the gate, but they ended up fixing the problem.
Yeah. They got to protect that that world's first, because that, and that makes sense. That is their premier bit of advertising content there. The number of people who tune into Destiny live streams on world first races is
Insane.
unreal. I don't know where all these people come from to watch this stuff whenever there's a world's first race, but you're right. I think they would move to protect that.
It's their sacred day. It is like, if
Oh,
there is a religious holiday that is in Destiny, it is raid day.
Yeah.
And that, like, yeah, I can see them being like, nope, oh, this thing popped up, nix it, get rid of it. Like, we'll take care of it later. Like,
Delete it from the game. We'll add it again.
yeah.
Right.
Well, like, Sleeper didn't get the buff that it was intended to get, right? Like, I think it was like, it only got 3% out of that 15% buff.
Yeah.
And like, so they said, we're going to be fixing that at a later date.
Doesn't matter.
You guys won't need it. It's fine.
It's fine. Nobody's using this. It's fine.
Yeah.
I wonder what poor soul at Bungie got that emergency call in the middle of the night on a Saturday. Disable it right now. Who had to get up and go into the office to fix this?
Yeah.
Although, since they do a lot of telework now, I wonder if they were able to fix that from home. They're just
Maybe.
able to get into the databases and push that live. I mean,
Most likely, honestly.
I would hope so.
If it didn't make me so mad that I didn't get a chance to play with this when I really, really wanted to, I'd be really impressed with how quickly they were able to push out a change for that. But I'm not impressed. I'm pissed because I wanted it.
Yeah, same.
But, that's the way things go. Who here is going to be running VOG for World First? Okay.
I'll be
Me, for
running
sure.
it, but not for World's First.
Okay, but you are
Yeah.
going to be trying it on day one?
Yeah.
Because we've got a week to go.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
coming up fast. What's you guys' plans for that? Are you have you been running Vault of Glass in D1? Have you been trying to get prepared?
Practice?
Nah.
We're fine.
I got all the practice I need in my brain meat.
Yeah, same here.
There's an old clip of an Indianapolis Colts coach going, playoffs? Playoffs? We have to win a game.
We got to win a game. Yeah.
That's how I'm going into this. I'm going in with that kind of energy.
No point worrying about the Super Bowl when you still got to win your first game, huh?
That's true. Like, the only thing that I'm not, like, my team's not going for world's first, but the only thing that I'm interested in is I want to know what does the most damage. So, like, I'm going in there with Xenophage right off the bat just to see what it can do, and then just go from there and see, like, how's this gonna work? We don't know yet.
So I mean, there's been a lot of that testing going on because, of course, outside of Energy Accelerant, we've got a bunch of brand new mods and whatnot, a bunch of brand new combinations. We got stuff, really powerful stuff like Warmind's Decree and Hammer of the Warmind as part of the artifact mod loot pool now. What weapons have you guys been finding to be your most reliable at the start of the season? How about you, Gray?
I think I might. I'm sorry for assuming, but I think I speak for Dan and Nem whenever I say Chroma Rush.
Yes.
100%.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. He is accurate on that.
I have two very, very good rolls of Chroma Rush. One with Subsistence and Rampage, and the other one with
Ooh.
Feeding Frenzy and Wellspring.
That's
And
not
it's-
bad.
They're monsters. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. The perks that gun can roll with are just insane.
Man, a lot of the weapons from the override activity are so good.
Good.
If
Oh yeah.
if there's one thing, if there's one overarching thing that I'm very happy with, that I'm not upset about at all, is the amount of weapons that they added
Oh,
to
yeah.
this season. I think there's like something like 30 that they
It's a
added in.
lot.
And so in the past, when we've seen, I think like 25 leave, and we've been like, well, they better be filling it in. Like this season, this season feels like, oh yeah, like here's all these gaps that we made. Here's some of the spots that we're filling.
Yeah, there's been a lot of new stuff that I've really been enjoying playing around with. The new that new kinetic or grenade launcher I thought has been pretty cool. But honestly, for me, Deathbringer. I got the Deathbringer catalyst like basically my first strike or two as I was grinding up for the new Pinnacle fusion rifle, the Null Composure, which is really good, by the way. Very good. It's definitely a top tier weapon, but Deathbringer has just been carrying me through absolutely everything. I've been trying to grind out that catalyst because apparently it does quite a bit for the DPS of that weapon. And it's nice to have a rocket that you can fire from 7 miles away and still deal max damage with. It's pretty neat. I like it.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And the catalyst for it definitely makes it a worthwhile DPS option. If I do wind up getting a team together, getting invited
What
to a
does
VOD team,
so
I'm going to use that.
enlighten me, because what does the catalyst do? Because I don't think I'm aware of it yet.
Let me pull it up so that I don't mistake it here. I think it allows the things to track a little bit better. Almost kind of like what is it? Wardcliffe Coil. I think it increases how quickly the Dark Descent reaches full potential and allows those things to track a little bit better. So you don't have to fire 20 miles above a monster to get max damage on it. You can just fire right above their head, and
they don't
damage.
spread out as easily, I assume. So it's
it tracks a bit better. I think it might have been Error put up a video about it today doing some DPS testing with it and got some really positive results. So I'm very much looking forward to finishing that catalyst.
Sounds good. I have it, but I haven't started it yet.
Yeah.
It's get a bunch of kills with Deathbringer.
Yeah.
So go wherever
Also,
you can get
it's a throwaway catalyst.
if you can get consistent heavy drops, yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, good stuff. But that I'm really enjoying. The new grenade launcher I'm really enjoying. I haven't gotten a Chroma Rush yet. I want to get one. I think it's really interesting that an auto rifle has got so many people popping off right now. That makes me happy because
it's really fun.
Yeah. It's a
720.
laser beam. It's a laser beam.
One of the new hand cannon, the Survivor's Epitaph.
Oh yeah,
that is actually really fun, and it's kind of solid in Crucible. Not gonna lie, maybe it's just a weird person in me, but man, I've been using it, and it just feels super crispy.
It's a 180, right?
Yeah. It's a 180. Mine, the one that dropped for me, has rapid hit and high impact reserves.
Yeah.
But I recommend giving it a shot for those who haven't. It's been super fun.
Definitely give it a shot. Has anybody else here gotten the Pinnacle weapon for this season? The Null Composure?
Yes.
I got it. I haven't used it. I got it for collection purposes. So I've heard a lot of mixed. Well, I've heard more negative about it than I have positive. So what about it makes it a top tier weapon for you, TBL?
It's the combination of abilities it's got on it. It's very clear what the way you're supposed to use this weapon is. It's for those who don't know, it comes with a combination of either Feeding Frenzy or a new perk called Heating Up, which is where Final Blows, I think, increase your accuracy and stability or something like that. So you can either go Final Blows increase your reload speed, or Final Blows are going to increase your stability and accuracy. Hint, hint, go reload speed.
Mhm.
and I'll tell you why in just a second. And then it follows up with your choice of the Reservoir Burst ability, which gives you that massive bonus damage to the first shot of your magazine, while also giving it kind of a dragonfly chain reaction type explosion on kills, or high impact reserves. Spoiler alert, just pick the top options on
Yeah.
here: Feeding Frenzy, Reservoir Burst. The way you're supposed to use this fusion, you're not supposed to empty the magazine. You're supposed to fire, reload, fire, reload, fire, reload. And that's, I do believe, why Bungie made it a rapid fire frame rather than a high impact frame like its elder brother, the
The
loaded
Loaded
question
Question.
was. And it works for that. It works. It's good as a fusion rifle. It's void, so it can take advantage of a lot of the artifact mods that are going to wind up being really powerful as parts of builds this season. You can make artifact bombs with your Warmind cells with void weapons now, which is really, really good. But ultimately, in my opinion, it is a weapon that does a lot of things right. When you use it the right way, it's really powerful. It's going to get that nice bonus damage from Reservoir Burst. You get the fast reload speed and whatnot. But it provides a niche service that is already better performed by another weapon. Do any of you guys know what that other weapon is?
Is it a new
previous
weapon or
seasonal
pre-existing
level,
weapon?
Salvager's Salvo.
Okay.
Okay,
The
pre-existing.
way
yeah.
you use Null Composure is the way Salvager's Salvo is used, and the Salvo does more damage, has a wider blast radius, and already works with a bunch of Warmind cell builds, including the
Yeah.
ones that are added in this season. So it's not that the Null Composure is bad. It's very good. I would definitely consider to be among the top tier PvE options out there. Definitely recommend it to anybody who's a fusion rifle enthusiast. But if you've got Salvager Salvo, you've got a better
got
Null
it.
Composure.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't get behind rapid fire fusion rifles. I feel like they just
That's
have
the other
a
thing.
weird spot, if any, in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Because it really, like, you can tag Reservoir Burst on there, but I don't really know if you're really going to be like taking advantage of that, because it's not really like a weapon that you want to use against the boss. It's a
Yep.
rapid fire frame. It seems
Yep.
like it's mainly a ad clear
Yes.
fusion rifle.
It is low level ad clear. You fire it at one thrall, blow up the whole room. And what you're saying
Right.
there is exactly right. I get why they made it a rapid fire frame, because they want you to be firing, reloading. But Salvage a grenade launcher does that better already.
Yeah, Salvager Salvo has been pretty much my main PvE weapon.
It's good.
Because
Real
so for like PvE for me, for example, I, up until they disabled it, I was using the Bleak Watcher aspect, the little turret.
Yeah.
So I ran it with Verity's Brow and the Salvager Salvo, and in activities like Battlegrounds, I was constantly getting my turret up consistently enough where I could have 3 or 4 of those turrets active at the same time.
Right.
And the salvo just made that build basically 10 times better, because it also allowed you to proc Whisper of Hedrons with the turret, which increases the damage of Salvager Salvo.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't really get behind the new fusion rifle. I would rather grind out a plug 1 with Reservoir Burst.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem with it there. Its niche performance is good at what it does, but there are things that are better.
Yeah.
You know, Salvager Salvo isn't just going to work as an amazing ad clearing weapon. It also deals decent damage against bosses. So, interesting choices there.
Yeah.
I like it though. Any other weapons you guys have been digging?
I'm trying to look through.
From the new season,
Grid Skipper is
a
not
lot.
bad.
Yeah.
I've gotten one of those.
I think I got my God Roll Grid Skipper on my first one. Yeah, with heating up and high impact reserves.
Ooh.
And as a PvE person, it just shreds people. Like, it is really, really good.
It just works.
It just works, Nem. It just works.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I think moving on from there, I think next week we've got Iron Banner coming back for the first run of the season, which is going to be interesting. Certainly interesting. I think we've got a couple new weapons popping up: a new LMG, new shotgun, and some returning weapons like the old Iron Banner sniper rifle and hand cannon. Looking forward to all of that stuff. But I think mostly this week is going to be VOG prep week. It's going to be everybody trying to finish up whatever grind they can to get up to a max of 1310 for the challenge mode of Vault of Glass. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be a real fun experience, and I'm going to be watching y'all, and I'll enjoy it even if you don't.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like, Vault of Glass right now is kind of like the one thing I'm just really kind of eager for to come by.
Yeah.
Because like I'm looking at the schedule here for the month,
Right.
and let me see.
I think
Outside
that's the next big thing. Yeah.
yeah. When does Expunged come?
June 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Next month.
We got a bit.
next month. Yeah,
So you've
sounds
got
like
a
beer
little
back.
bit. And that's the Expunge is the weekly pinnacle mission, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so we're gonna be getting. Or wait, maybe it's coming on the May 25th. Because the first mention of weekly pinnacle mission is on May 25th.
You're right. It is. I see it now. Comes alongside the Tangled Shore or override.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be coming a little bit quicker than we expected it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's it's going to be coming on May 25th because it's listed every week after that. Well, almost every week after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so interesting. So we've got that coming soon. That does remind me, because that's going to be a pinnacle source of power. One last thing I wanted to get you guys' opinions on before we, I guess, move on to audience questions. We found this week as this season went live that the old premier raid, Deep Stone Crypt, no longer drops pinnacle rewards. How do you guys feel about that?
Weird. I'm not a raider, but that's weird.
I played it today.
Yeah.
Because they've pulled the pinnacle out already, even though it says it on the director. It felt very strange. It almost felt like they upped the difficulty of the raid itself, but now there's no pinnacle gear behind it,
no reward,
and no real reason to try to get the there's not enough of the currency to get past weapons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough of that dropping, so it kind of delegitimizes that raid not even a year into its like
into its life.
Yeah, in its lifespan. And it's like hands down one of the most beautiful, well done, well thought out mechanics wise raids that they've put out. And to have it not last a year is frustrating.
Yeah, kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Definitely an odd choice, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of it. I think I agree a lot with what you just said, Dan, that it kind of it disincentivizes me from running it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that was the right move. I can understand Bungie wanting to limit pinnacle sources. I would argue they don't really need to do that, especially when it comes to premier content that dropped less than a year ago. I mean, Deep Stone Crypt is still the premier bit of paid content. It's the premier raid of the last major expansion. I think it should remain power level relevant and pinnacle relevant until the drop of the next major expansion.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think dropping that and just having Vault of Glass be the pinnacle raid was a good idea. I think that might have.
It's such a weird decision.
It's a weird decision. I don't know why they did that, especially when Empire hunts still drop pinnacles.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Master Empire hunts.
Okay.
Why, though?
Okay.
Of all things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
It's so weird.
It's just like we rated it today, and somebody was like, this feels like somebody on investments was like, no, they're gonna get to power level too quickly.
Why does that matter?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter though.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it
It's-
hasn't
it's-
mattered in how long.
Well, and especially with like only a plus 10, right?
Yeah,
Instead
we're
of
not
plus
plus 50 anymore. We're just at plus 10. Most people are like already a good way through it. Just why even bother with this? It didn't make sense to me. It's a
Yeah.
weird decision.
I think this is a good argument for a weekly rotating raid that is not
100%.
that season or that DLC's
Yeah.
featured raid.
100%. Agreed.
And
All day.
there's speculation that sort of thing might be coming. That they're going to be adding in sort of an Age of Triumph style weekly featured raid. Which, great, do it.
Yeah.
Announce it. Like,
Announce
do it.
Yes.
Yeah, announce it first.
Announce it. Don't just take pinnacles from DSC and then be like in a month and a half, here's the weekly pinnacle raids. No, just announce it. Why not let people know that?
Well, the other
But
thing too is if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they said that after day one, the whole okay, so how the Vault of Glass World First race is supposed to go, you have to complete it first, and then you get this whole entire other set of
Mhm.
challenges that you have to do.
Mhm.
I thought I remember reading that after day one, those challenges are going away.
Yes.
Well, yes. But if
For a
you look
while.
at the calendar, they're returning on June 15th. Or like
Okay.
some raid challenges are coming to June 15th. Now, whether or
Okay.
not they're the day one raid race stuff, or if maybe they're the previous challenges that we had from all the way back in D1, who knows? But
Something like that. Either way, I think that was just an odd decision to me, and I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on what's going on with the Deepstone Crypt.
yeah.
I don't think it was I think that was a misstep, and we'll have to see what Bungie does with it moving forward.
I mean, you can still get Eyes of Tomorrow out of it. It's still that's still worthwhile.
Yeah.
But it
Still don't have it, by the way.
but it does disincentivize you from going. It neutered that raid.
Odd choice, man.
Yeah.
Odd choice.
But yeah, that's something else. I don't know. It is interesting that we're going to be getting difficulty options for Vault of Glass on July 6th, which is a lot sooner than I thought we'd get those, especially because they're like, oh yeah, later in the year in 2021, you'll be getting options, and it made it seem like, oh, okay, so like a few more months after it releases.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Going to be some interesting stuff. I mean, I still wonder what we know that there's 2 sets of Vault of Glass rewards right now.
Yes.
I wonder if that's going to apply to the armor like we were talking about in previous weeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
I hope so.
There's another.
better.
There's another thing about the Vault of Glass when it comes to the shaders.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Go ahead. Dan.
So it seems
Not great.
a couple of the it does seem like we're going to be getting a Chatterwhite replacement, right?
Yes.
And that seems like it'll be dropping from the raid. Seems, I don't know. But hasn't it been data mined that a couple of the shaders specific, like there's an advertisement specifically for like an emote. I think it's 2 shaders and some of the new universal transmog set or pieces behind an Eververse bundle.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about that?
I thought it was interesting that there's going to be some shaders and stuff that get unlocked after the clearing of Vault, but only for purchase. That was not great. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world because it was cosmetic. It's cosmetic, and it is confirmed that there are shaders that will drop at the end of Vault of Glass just for you and whatnot. So I can't I can't be too indignant about it, but it doesn't make that medicine taste any better going down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna buy the pack because I love Vault of Glass and I want that sitting emote because it's just awesome.
It's cool.
But I think what they should do, and this may have been pitched before, but if they want to do that to where you can only get shaders for X thing to happen, like after X thing happens, then maybe not sell it to you, but maybe after you get the title, you get a shader.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that would work a whole hell of a lot better than
Right?
like, hey, you got to buy this shader outright for
Congrats.
either
Come
it's
spend
silver
money.
or bright dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does hold true to their mission where they're like, it's never going to be pay to win.
Yeah.
But like you are going to pay for cosmetics. It just it hurts that it's like, and this isn't the first time it's been something that's been tied to a raid that is put behind Eververse. But it's just not a
Not a
they've
good
also
look.
said in the past that like they weren't going to put stuff in the Eververse store that like tied into like the stuff that was going on in game.
yeah.
And I feel like this kind of goes against that.
Does it if it doesn't have
It-
lore?
It depends on how they bring us Vault, because if they bring us Vault in the sense of like, if Vault is not even remotely connected to what Mithrax is doing and everything that's happening, like how Deepstone Crypt was like directly connected to Braytech and all that stuff.
Mhm.
If it's totally disconnected, they can technically do that and still keep their word,
Yeah.
which I think is the
we
case.
know it's going to be disconnected because it's on the map icon. There's a particular thing that just says Legends.
Mhm.
You're a
And that's
legend.
where thanks, I know. And that's where that's going to be located. Vault is going to be located. But still, like it doesn't. It's like it just reminds me of the Pit of Heresy thing where Shadowkeep came out, and that season you had the Scarlet Keep themed Sparrow and
Mhm.
ship
Yeah.
in the Eververse store.
That wasn't cool.
And it's not like we've never seen cosmetics drop from a raid before, because Spire of Stars had an emote that dropped from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pins
And
asked.
that just leaves like a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Pins is asking, does it sit less well because it's Vault of Glass? If it was a new raid, would it hurt less? I don't know if it would hurt less,
No.
but it's just like the nostalgia around Vault of Glass, the hype that they've added into it, and just like the principle of the thing.
If
I would
use,
say it's more the principle than anything else,
Yeah.
honestly.
if I use the wrong words here, let me know. But it sucks that it seems like they're being predatory on people who want to feel that nostalgia and who love Vault of Glass. Myself, because I liked Vault so much, and they know there's people who love Vault so much, they do that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's I think
That's fair.
what hurts more is the
Yeah.
fact
Yeah.
that you can interpret it that way.
Yeah. I could see that.
When we talked about transmog, and like I said like how predatory didn't like sit well in my mouth. Where it was just like, because when I think predatory, I think Wile E. Coyote sitting there with like fork and knife, and he's like,
Right.
so like this feels more like that. Like this, yeah.
I don't think it's a good look. It's not the worst thing in the world, but
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, this wasn't a good look, Bungie. It could technically be worse. Imagine if it had been this way, except it was Chatter White that
Yeah.
gets unlocked and put into the Eververse store only for silver.
Yeah.
That would be extreme predatory, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think this probably wasn't the best look, Bungie.
Yeah.
Not a great idea.
I'll
I'll still play VOG.
Same. I'm not. It's not going to keep me from enjoying that raid. But
Right.
it's just a thorn in the side.
Like you did to that champion. In
oh,
the
yeah.
Nightfall.
Oh boy.
I was watching.
Oh boy.
He did not like being put on green fire.
For those of you who don't know, So earlier today I was playing Arcstrider with the new mod from the artifact that allows you to overload on grenade,
Mm-hmm.
and I double skipped that guy with a Shinobu's hunter. Mm. He, like, speaking of Wile E. Coyote, it was like he put up the sign and then just fell between the cracks. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on, moving on to questions. We only have one. That is from Prime, or that
All right.
no, that's from Pins Halo. It says Prime Gaming before your name. I'm so sorry. With Vault of Glass seemingly being the big carrot this season, how big of an issue would it be if there are problems with either porting the raid itself or the challenges?
Depends on the severity of those problems, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly think that Vault is one of the things that maybe the studio got together and like got down to it and said, hey, listen, we need to nail this, because if we don't nail this, not only do we have the PvP side up our butts about it, but we also have the PvE people too if this doesn't go off right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no energy accelerant situation when it comes to Vault of Glass. That I 100% agree. All hands were probably on deck to test that and make sure that it ships right.
Yeah.
Todd Howard wasn't put in charge of QA testing Vault of Glass. None of that. None of that here. But yeah, I would very much agree. I think that there's if there were I'd have to imagine if there was some big systemic problems with it, they probably would have caught that in QA. It would be a very big deal if it launched broken, or if, like we even Dan brought up earlier in the show, if Bungie was faced with the prospect of having to delay it, I think they would pull out all the stops to prevent that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it came down to it and they had to delay it, I have a feeling that this week is the week we would find out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would have said on Thursday, like, hey guys, I know this isn't necessarily what you want to hear, but we've done some testing and it seems there's some things that are broken with Vault of Glass. We are going to push back the date and all that, but even then that would be met with like
so much
vitriol. Just because like it's people's time, and
there's people who like take off work for things like this and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a hall pass from Jenny to play on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be using that. I want to raid on Saturday.
I think you guys are right. They would pull out all the stops to prevent that, and if it was going to happen, we would know. They would. There's no way. There's no way they wouldn't let you know beforehand.
Yeah. So I don't know. The way that the community has been responding to them lately and everything, they would have to. There would have to be some grand gesture on top of it to make right, I think.
So here's hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Here's hoping everything goes flawlessly. I mean, I think part of the reason why we got so much D1 content back was probably a beta test for this. Getting stuff like strikes back was probably like Sepix and Omnigul was probably a test of porting over the D1 code and getting it to work in D2 before they pulled out the stops and brought back something like the Vault of Glass. So here's hoping that it runs the way it's supposed to and those challenges work, because wouldn't want to see the alternative there.
And hopefully it's not boring, because we would mop the floor with D1 Vault of Glass right now.
Just
like no contest. That's a big part.
Big change. One of the big challenges there with preventing the Templars teleport was the fact that our Guardians didn't have thumb and that strength for jack in D1. We couldn't mantle anything. Didn't have a big toe that could catch onto the slightest pixel and be like, "Yeah, I'm up." Yeah, so
we had T-Rex arms.
Yeah, we just couldn't reach things. It was great. So this and they talked about that. They talked about how we're far more powerful in D2, so they're going to have to revamp the Vault of Glass experience at least on some fundamental levels. I think that was in the TWAB last week or the week
Yeah.
before, and
Yeah.
I, for one, am very much looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. Hopefully on the 22nd.
Yes.
Hopefully no delays.
So
But all right, was that it?
that's it.
Okay, well, I do believe that's a show, gentlemen. Good stuff all around. Thank you so much,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to episode 278 of the Planet Destiny podcast. The first week of Season of the Splicer is underway, and I think it's fair to say we all like it thus far, right?
Yeah.
I'd say
100%.
that.
Yeah. I other than day one, it's been a good launch.
Other than the day where we couldn't play it, yeah, yeah, it's been. Although you got premium content out of it, you
Oh,
got a
yeah,
nice
I did.
fashion show.
Oh
It was
yeah,
great.
I did.
It was
It
beautiful.
was- yeah. I gotta VOD that real quick.
But right on. Good stuff, one and all. Before we get on out of here, of course, we do want to say thank you so much to SentinelGray. Gray, for joining us tonight, man. It was great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really do appreciate it.
No, absolutely, dude. Anytime. It was fantastic to have you here, especially on the first week of a major season like this. It's great to get your thoughts on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, there's so much though. There's so much I can go on and on about, but we don't have that time.
But anyways, before we get on out of here, of course, I do want to give you the floor and allow you to shill all your stuff, your social media pages and all that, so those out there can find you. So,
Oh boy. Yeah, you can find me literally anywhere as SentinelGray. Gray
Yeah.
with an A, not an E. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, all over the place. And I don't bite. If you got questions, just ask. I mean, I'm willing to help.
literally what you do. You're the Sherpa.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. That's my whole shtick. That's my thing.
You might bite a little, but come on. It's
I mean, who doesn't every now and then? Everybody deserves a little nibble.
everybody.
He also has this excellent reward feature in his or points system in his streams. By the way, if you want to go by whenever he's live, where he will do a particular voice or accent, and it's hilarious.
Oh, we can't.
Then
end
I
this
do
without
not
hearing
know
that.
what you are talking about.
You okay,
I also
liar.
Is there a dad joke feature?
Hey, Dan?
No,
No?
there might be in the future, Dan, if you
Okay.
play your cards right.
Nim really likes
Oh,
mom jokes.
oh.
Nim really loves mom jokes. So maybe make it mom jokes.
But it has to be Russian mom jokes.
Yes.
In Soviet Russia, you do not break glass. Glass breaks you.
It's a very specific niche of jokes that Nim likes.
Excellent stuff. Well, thanks so much, Gray, again for joining us tonight. It was fantastic having you here, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Of course, for the rest of us, we've got stuff to shill and places to be, right, Nem?
I mean, yeah, places to be. I don't know, but I can chill up my Twitter.
Please do.
Twitter.com/nemplays, where you see a lot of my hot takes, where I make PvP people angry. It's something. It's, if you like violence and chaos, absolutely hit me up there. We'll most likely be streaming on Tuesday for the reset stuff, just in case anything happens over on twitch.tv/nemplays.
Right on, right on. Looking forward to that. What about you, Dan?
Oh, hi. My name is Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok at Danfinity, where the eyes are L's. You can also find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity. This week, probably going to be doing some... Eventually, my raid team and I will practice, and it will probably be on stream. As well as maybe a hint of Mass Effect. I got that. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. That'll probably be on Thursday or something. But yeah, other than that, all set.
Right on, right on. Mass Effect, good stuff, man.
Heck
Good
yeah.
stuff.
I've yet to finish the trilogy. I've played the first game and like half of the second, and never finished it because it was
Good
on
stuff.
Xbox.
Yeah.
But
Right on. Of course, my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. Didn't have any live streams this last week because my PC blew up. And
Oh no.
just in case, y'all should know, especially you longtime viewers of the channel, you should know I have the worst RNG of anyone you have ever met. And just to put the final nail in the coffin of RNG there, this is when my PC blew up. Shortly after season 14 began. So I didn't get to play again until Saturday.
so question.
Yeah.
Do you think it was that spider from way back in the day finally reenacting its revenge?
The ghost of that spider that I punched against the wall, it might have been. It might have been because, listen, it was a real weird issue. I got everything figured out. We're back up and running. Thank goodness it wasn't my graphics card that died. Weirdest thing in the world. It was a single PCIe slot that just decided to do whatever. It was pulling a little bit too much voltage from something else and was causing the entire system to shut down. Finally got that figured out. We're working through it right now. But man, that spider, he got in there. He got into that one PCIe port and was like, now. Season 14 is dropped.
Now's my time.
Now is the time. Is he about to load into an activity? Now. And I was down for almost a week, but we're good to go. So we should be having some live streams coming up real soon. You know the usual, about 11 a.m. Eastern time to about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Good stuff. But all right, everybody, that is it for episode 278 of the Planet Destiny podcast, your guide to this week in Destiny. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully it'll be a post Vault of Glass launch world. We'll see you then.